Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. To celebrate Pride Month, let's head to divorce court. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Okay, let's go on the record then and file 24-36997-DO, Schwingendorf v. Schwingendorf. We do have both the plaintiff and defendant here this morning. We're set for a pro-con. I did also have a chance to review the proposed consent judgment of divorce, and everything did appear appropriate. I did want to confirm one thing, indicate that anybody's changing the last name. I just wanted to confirm that that was accurate.
Correct.
Okay.
Both names are staying as they are.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. I just always ask because that's one of the things that people overlook, and then it becomes much more difficult to change after.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
So the procedure that we use this morning, in just a moment, Carrie, because you're the plaintiff, I'm going to place you under oath. There are some questions that I need to ask you and some testimony to take to help me determine if the statutory grounds for divorce have been met. If they had, then I would go ahead and execute the consent judgment of divorce. And Ian, the reason that testimony comes from him is just because he's the plaintiff in the case and filed the complaint. So that's why I would use the testimony from Carrie. So Carrie, if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. If you could start, please, by just telling us your full name and then spelling your last name for the record.
Yep. Spelled Schwing.
Thank you. And you're the plaintiff in this case, is that correct?
Yes.
When and where were the two of you married?
We were married in Grand Traverse City at the Old Town Plant.
Okay. Was that ceremony performed by someone authorized to perform marriages?
Yes.
And when you filed the complaint or prior to that, had you been a resident of the state of Michigan for at least 180 days and a resident of Grand Traverse County for at least 10 days?
Yeah.
When you filed the complaint, were all of the statements in it true?
Yes.
Are they still true today?
Yes.
Has there been a breakdown of the marriage relationship such that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed and there remains no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved?
Yes.
And do you believe that there is no possibility of reconciliation?
Yes.
And is it accurate that there were no minor children that were a result of the marriage?
Correct.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the terms contained within the proposed judgment of divorce?
Yes.
Do you believe that they are a fair and equitable resolution of the marriage?
Yeah.
Do you also understand that once I sign the document, those terms become final, and absent a pretty extreme circumstance like fraud or duress, they can't be changed? So certainly a party can come back seeking to enforce one of those terms, but trying to change them is rather difficult and quite frankly, nearly impossible. So do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And Ian, I'm not going to place you under oath, sir. I just want to confirm that you've also had a chance to review the proposed judgment of divorce.
Yes.
Okay. Do you also believe that it's a fair and equitable resolution of the marriage?
Yes.
Okay. And you also heard what I said about the terms of it, and so you're familiar and understand all of that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, based on the testimony provided by the plaintiff, I will indicate that the statutory grounds have been met. So just give me one moment. Okay, it has been signed. If either of you would like to obtain a copy of that document, you can do so through the circuit court clerk. They're located in the Hall of Justice. That's the newer courthouse with the entrance off of Washington Street. They're on the second floor. Okay.
Wonderful.
Is there
Any
any?
questions?
Thank you.
Is
Okay.
there any anything we have to do next? Any other steps to follow, or it's...
Nope. Now that I've signed it, that makes it official. The clerk's office can provide you a copy of the signed judgment if you need it for any reason. Sometimes, though neither of you is changing your name, that's the most common example where somebody would need to get a notarized or an official copy so that they could do that. But so if you need a copy in the future, one can be obtained, but I don't know that you would.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks to you both. You're all set.
Thank you.
All right, now we have the matter of Valerie Sanford versus Brittany Sanford.
Yes, I'm here. Valerie looks like she's having technical difficulties. Oh, there she go right there.
I'm
You-
here.
Okay, how much for time are you requesting, Miss Sanford, Valerie Sanford?
Time for what?
Aren't you, this is your divorce, correct?
Yes, we already don't discuss everything, so we good. We going on through the divorce and everything is good.
Do you know why you're on this calendar if you've already agreed to everything? Did you?
I guess they said we had to come to
Did
court
you
to
go-
get the divorce.
Okay, so you said that you agreed to everything. Did you sign documents indicating you agreed to everything?
Yes, Brittany, did you
Document.
turn in all the paperwork?
So we're on the calendar because it was contested because of the house. Today, we kind of mediated amongst each other and came up with what a plan was. So no, officially nothing has been signed into,
All right,
as far as that's concerned.
how much time are you requesting for the court to review or hear what you have to say to resolve your case?
Maybe 20 minutes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm gonna move to Valerie Sanford versus Brittany Sanford. Please raise your right hand, both of you.
I can't hear.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm? Ms. Sanford, go ahead and, Valerie Sanford, unmute yourself. Okay. And turn your video on. All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give to the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Valerie Sanford because you're the petitioner in the matter. All right. Have you resided in the state of Georgia for more than 6 months prior to filing this action?
Yes, ma'am.
Your spouse is Brittany Sanford, who has acknowledged service of process and jurisdiction of the court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you consent to the jurisdiction of this court, is that right, Ms. Brittany Sanford?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it is your position that you were married on September 20th, 2010.
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you married?
In Washington, D.C.
Okay, and you separated on October 15th, 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
There are no minor children born in the marriage.
No, ma'am.
And Ms. Sanford, are you currently pregnant?
No.
No.
Oh, I didn't even.
Who said no? Valerie
Both
Sanford?
of us.
Okay, thank you. And you indicate that the debt, there's no outstanding debt to divide, but there
No.
is outstanding property, which is the marital home. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the decision that you've made on the marital home?
We discussed until February the 1st, and if I don't bid on bought her out by February 1st, we'll agree to sell it.
Okay, February 1st of next year.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So February 1st of 2025, if you haven't given her how much money?
Brittany, did you say 20,000 or 30,000?
It was supposed to be that once the house is paid for at that time, then if that's not the case, we'll sell it.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
you have to make it a little bit more plainer for me.
Okay.
If the house isn't paid for by February 1st in its entirety, then it will be sold. We will put it on the market to be sold.
So
So it's not a buyout situation.
whose name is on the property?
Brittany.
Okay, so Mr. Shahim, you're gonna have to put yourself on mute. Turn your video off. because when other people are moving around, I can't tell who I'm working with. Okay, so now you're back up. Okay, for some reason people pop up and then I get confused. All right, so now who was speaking about whose home is it's in whose name?
It's in
Brittany.
my wife's name, Brittany's name.
Brittany. Okay, and so but Valerie, you're gonna stay in the house
Yes,
and
I'm gonna buy the house out.
you're going to pay for the house.
Okay, so what we agreed on, what me and Brittany agreed on, is that if I don't buy the house, if I don't be done bought the house by February the 1st, then we're gonna sell it. But if I be done bought the house before February the 1st, then she's gonna sign it over to me, and I'm supposed to give her $20,000 or $30,000, one or the other. I don't know. I don't remember which one it was. And she gonna sign the deed over to me because we moved in the house together. We both pay for the house. I pay for the house now.
How much is left on the house?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
So are you gonna get a new loan? Or are you saying you're gonna be paying off the money, just kind of paying off principal between now and February? Or are you getting a new loan?
I'm gonna get a new loan.
Okay, so your position is that you're going to put the house in your name.
Yes,
So essentially, Brittany is going to sell the house to you
yes.
because it's not in your name. So you're not refining it or modifying. You're literally buying the house from her.
It's our house. We buying the house together. Well, see, we moved in this house 2014. So we buying this house together. But then stuff happened, so we separated. So I don't want to give up the house. She don't live in the house no more, so I'm buying the house. I'm paying for the house now. So we
I
agreed.
know that, but the house is in her name.
Yes.
When you go to the bank, what are you gonna say?
What you mean?
Well, what's the plan? I don't understand how you're gonna buy off a house. I don't understand.
I'm just gonna pay whatever left that's whatever left that's owed in this house. I'm gonna buy the house straight out.
Judge, she's coming into some money from an accident. That's why we put the time frame on there. So if her money comes in time, then she can pay the house off at that point. That's where the money comes from.
Okay, how much do you
Oh.
anticipate how much is left on the house by February? If you make your
Probably
payments?
it's probably about what, $78,000, Britt?
78 or 7?
170.
170.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's how much left on there?
Yes.
Okay, whatever she said, ma'am.
all right. And so you're when you say buy the house off, you're going to what? Pay her all the money?
No, I'm gonna pay the mortgage company. I'm gonna pay the mortgage company the $170,000, and
Okay.
she's gonna sign the deed over to me.
All right, so there we go. So you're gonna pay the mortgage company the balance of the house
Yes.
as of February 2024.
2025.
And then Miss Brittany is going to sign the deed to you,
Yes.
and then you're going to pay her an additional what?
She asked me for $20,000 or $30,000. I can't remember which one she asked me for.
Okay, which one is it?
30.
And then you'll pay her $30,000 within how much time after you get the deed? Or before the deed? When is it? Oh, you paying her 30,000 before the deed, 30,000 after the deed? Which one is it?
After the deed.
Okay, and do you agree with that, Miss Brittany?
I do.
Okay, so 30,000 after the deed. Okay, and then everybody to be satisfied. Now, what happens if she cannot pay the 170? Then the house will be put on the market.
Yes.
Yes, that's what she want.
If not, it's going to be placed on the market. And then who determines who will that all be Miss Brittany determining who the real estate agent would be and the price to sell it for?
No, we'll decide it together.
Okay.
We good friends. We'll decide together.
You can't really decide it together. I gotta have a breaking point because if you can't, I need to know what to do.
That's what I'm saying. But see, we get along, so
I know
we'll
everybody says that.
we get along, ma'am. You know,
Yeah,
we'll
but I'm not
decide
gonna
it
do that.
together.
I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna have you come back to me. I know what you're saying and I hope that works out. All thumbs up. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna put in this order the backup plan, okay?
Okay,
Because
all right, well, I
it
decide.
makes sense. Okay, so you'll try to agree to the person, and if that doesn't happen, to the real estate agent, then what happens? And Miss Sanford, you
It's
cannot be smoking while we're in the middle of court, and you certainly cannot be doing it while I'm addressing you.
Yes, ma'am, I
Ms. Marshall
apologize.
didn't go over those things with you?
No, ma'am, nobody said anything to me. This is my first time ever being in any of this type of situation, so I didn't know. I apologize.
Miss Marshall takes 15 minutes of my court time to go over rules, and you're saying she didn't do that this morning?
I didn't get that, cause I didn't know how to work this video. I cut this video on, but I didn't hear nothing, so I didn't hear nobody say anything. I had to call Brittany to tell me how to do it.
So you came on late.
No, I came on time. I just didn't know how to hear. I couldn't hear anything. I had to call Brittany to ask her how to make it where I could hear what was said. And
Okay,
by the time, yeah,
okay. Yep, put your smokes out. All right,
yes, ma'am.
so if you cannot come to an agreement on the real estate person, who will make that decision? Or do you go to a third person? Who do you use?
I feel like we should go to a third person. I don't think if we can't agree, then it should be a non-biased third person. Now, who
Okay,
that's
and
going
who's
to be?
that third person?
Brittany, who you want it to be? Ma'am, it's whatever she want, to be
Well,
honest
then
with
I
you.
can make
Whatever
the
she,
final decision, and we don't have to make a
Okay,
third
then
person.
Brittany will make the
Yeah.
final decision, okay? And then, once you sell who will be responsible for like,
we'll split the profit down the middle.
so the profit of the house is split 50-50?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and getting the house ready, like cleaning it out, if you gotta repair something, is that 50-50 as well?
No, she lived there.
Okay, so who's gonna be responsible for making sure the house is cleaned out and
I will, ma'am. I
the
live
clean-
here.
So clean out will be Miss Sanford, and what about any repairs that are necessary to sell the house? Like, for example, if you gotta paint the house or you gotta fix the refrigerator.
I mean, I feel like it'd be me and her, because if I'm paying for everything, then I mean, what you don't want? What, Brittany? What you think, Brittany? If this house
Um,
need repair, you gonna help me fix it up?
it can be a collective effort.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll say 50-50 on repairs excluding, let's say, carpet, because that'll be a part of cleanup. Everything else will
Right.
be,
We don't have carpets, hardwood floors.
okay. So then 50-50.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
All right, then I think we got it. Is there any other issue we are not discussing that we need to discuss now?
No, ma'am.
All right, so as I understand it, you do not have any debt or assets or property other than the house to divide. You're gonna remain in the house. Ms. Valerie Sanford's gonna remain in the house until February of 2025, at which time you will pay the mortgage company the outstanding balance of the home. You will then, Miss Brittany will then sign the deed over to you. Thereafter, you will pay her $30,000. If that does not happen, if you decide not to buy off the house, you will place the house on the market. You all will discuss who the real estate agent will be and the price to ask for the house and to offer to accept that price on the house. If you all cannot come to agreement, then Ms. Brittany will be responsible for doing that. You'll pay 50-50, you'll split the profit and repairs 50-50, other than cleanup and clean out repairs, other than cleanup, which will be Miss Sanford's. Did I
Yes,
get
ma'am.
that? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then. So do not, is it your position, Miss Sanford, that this marriage is irretrievably broken?
Yes, ma'am.
Is
I
there any
guess.
hope for reconciliation?
Well, I do, but she don't, so no.
All right, Miss Brittany, you think there's hope?
I do, but she don't, so I agree with whatever she say. Whatever she say, I want to make her happy.
Okay, so Miss Brittany, do you think there's any hope for reconciliation?
No,
All right, do you want to try and let the court place this on a different calendar so you can continue to try for
no,
reconciliation? Is that no?
that's a no.
All right, so there's no hope for reconciliation.
Correct.
All right, then the court will divorce you on those grounds that the marriage is irretrievably broken. And I will handle the matter as I've already articulated to you. Do not do anything inconsistent with the marriage until you receive a copy of decree from this court, okay?
Sounds good. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
All right.
Do that. The court cannot enter a judgment by consent. And I don't know whose signature this is, and I need to verify she's not now pregnant. So you will not get divorced till you get her here. So reach out to her roommates, her family, her friends. She was mailed a notice to appear.
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of other cases. I can't keep dragging this case out, ma'am. You need to cooperate and assist the court if you want to get divorced. So I'm gonna give you the court's phone number. You call her and get her available sometime today or tomorrow. Let's try to do it today. Let's be done with this. She's got a period. It's gonna take her 2 minutes. And
Yes,
if she
sir.
doesn't, you've got to jump through some hoops if she's gonna play games with you. Does she have some? What's the issue? What's the problem?
I don't know. She promised me that she was gonna be here, and now she's jumping on my calls.
Okay, I don't know what you mean by jumping your call. She's not answering them. Does she have a roommate? Does she have a mother? Does she have a sister? Does she have the next door neighbor you can call and get this message to her?
I can call her siblings, but I don't know how much of a help that they're gonna be.
Well, just if they can reach out to her and say, you got to call, but the court's waiting for you this morning. She's got to appear, give the Zoom ID number. We mailed it to her. Now, we mailed it to her 2 different addresses, one in Saginaw, one in Lansing. Do you know have any idea where she's living?
Yeah, she's up in Midland right now.
Okay, well, obviously you took his judgment to her, right? Or did you mail it to her?
I mailed it to her. I mailed both the judgment and another piece of paper to her, but apparently she didn't mail that other paper back.
Right. All right, so we're gonna give you the court's phone number, 734. Your main goal all day today is to get her to respond to you, and then you call the court and let us know when she's available. I will not be available between 11 and 1:30. So I would suggest let's do it this afternoon.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be back at 1:30. You call my office, let us know when you're both available. You'll be zooming in and we will be ready for it.
Yes, sir.
So I would think she'd want to get divorced too, or maybe she's opposed to this divorce. So if she's not going to cooperate, you need to jump through hoops. You need to file a motion for a notice for entry of a default judgment. So we'll go through those again. Once again, if she does not appear later today. So we need to hear from you today. If you don't get back to this today, I'm going to dismiss this complaint. You guys start over again.
Okay.
So please call my office. Let us know when you and she are both available to appear. It'll take 2 minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, that one, you can zoom out. All right, court will recall the case of Brittany Guyman versus Cody Guyman. Again, this matter is adjourned from this morning for pretrial conference. It's being conducted via Zoom. The plaintiff, Brittany Guyman, is present. Ms. Guyman, we didn't hear from you, so we're tracking you down again, spending a lot of time necessarily trying to help you. And the courts and the staff have asked you to zoom back in. Okay, what's the status of your efforts to get Cody Guyman here? Can you buy her breakfast? Can you send her $20 to get her to appear?
I told her that I was zooming back in with you. She told me that if she has service that she would be zooming in with you. I told her exactly when. I told her the ID number that she needed.
Okay, where's she at? She's out west right now?
Yes.
Where?
She was in Montana.
Okay, if she doesn't have a Zoom, we can give her a phone number. She can call in and appear by audio. We're gonna
I
give you a phone number, so,
number.
okay, this is not an office phone number. This is a Zoom phone number. She can actually appear with you here in open court, but on audio, rather than calling my secretary's phone.
No, is it the 646 number, Your Honor?
Yes. Yeah, so if she doesn't have internet, she can call.
That's what I told her, Your Honor.
Okay, so why can't she call? Why, you gotta help us here, Miss Guyman.
I don't know. I've been pushing her. She told me if she had service, she would call.
Is she traveling right now? Is she on the road?
From what she said, yes.
Okay, well, she had service when you called her. Why didn't you say, let's call right now?
I
Miss Guyman,
did.
she actually had service when you talked to her.
She was texting with me.
Okay, all right, why don't you try calling her right now? And we're gonna see, maybe she can appear through your phone. Call right now, see whether she got service, or whether she'll answer the phone. Tell her you're in front of the judge right now. Ring her, see whether she will answer.
Come on, Cody, answer.
I'm sorry?
She's not answering me.
Ms. Guyman, the judgment of divorce that the court has in its possession, did Cody return it to you, or did Cody mail it directly to the court?
Cody mailed it back to the court.
Okay, so you've not seen it then, correct?
I have not.
You can't tell whether it's her signature or not?
Not from this far away, no. If I was there in person, I'd be able to.
All right, do you have any objection to, do you have any objection to court dismissing this matter? Can require you refile. You need to help out the court, or you need to refile this, ma'am. The court, I can only do so much to help you.
I can refile, that's fine.
Of course, then you got ever served again. You're trying to track her down out west. It would seem like it'd be really simple if you just get her to appear for 30 seconds. I don't
I'm
know what
trying.
more I can do.
I'll refile, thank you.
I'm sorry?
I can refile. She's not answering me. She's not getting on the Zoom. I don't know what else to do.
But you understand she's out west somewhere. How are you gonna find her to serve her?
She's just supposed to be out. She's on her way back to Michigan right now. Apparently, she was on some type of retreat.
Okay, when will she be back in Michigan? Will she be back in Michigan next week? We'd put this off for a week?
I'm not sure. Probably
You-
within the next couple days.
So did you actually talk to her today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so she's en route back from Montana back to Michigan.
Yep.
That's what she told you? She'll be back in a couple days?
Yes.
Okay, do you think she will appear if she's has service?
I'm hoping.
Okay, well,
Told me if she had service, she would appear.
okay, well, you know her. I have no idea who she is. You know her. Do you think she's inclined to appear, or is she just playing games with you? She's
To
your
be honest,
spouse.
I think she's playing games with me.
Okay. Well, because we got from the postal service a new address, which is an address in Lansing, but you say she's now in Midland. So where can we even mail her a notice?
She sent me Midland.
Okay, but you have no address, so correct? So we can't send her a notice if we have no address.
I do have a address. I just have to find it.
And where'd you get this address?
She gave it to me.
Okay. And what is that address?
Lind, Michigan, 48642.
All right, we're gonna try one more time, Miss Guyman. Maybe you need to drive to Midland.
At this point, I'll try anything.
Okay, well, I mean, do you have any mutual friends
No.
that might be able to reach out to her and convince her to finalize things so you can move on with life? There's nothing really at issue here. We just need her to attest to the fact she's not now pregnant and that she in fact signed her name to this judgment. It'll take her less than a minute.
And that's what I
Right,
told her.
So you're unemployed, you can appear any day, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. All right, and you're still, we have your confidential mailing address, so we will mail, I don't have a date right now, but we're gonna reschedule this for a couple weeks and hopefully she'll be back. Keep in touch with her. So the final adjournment. So the court's gonna send her out a notice that a default judgment will enter. I'm trying to help you as much as I can, Ms. Guyman. You're still unemployed, is that correct? You're on Social Security disability?
Correct.
Okay. Tell her buy her dinner if she appears, and we'll do what you have to do to make it work, Ms. Guyman, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll send out notice to you as well as to her. We'll send it to sometime, I think, in early June. All right,
Yes, sir.
we'll give one more try. Keep in touch with her. Try to do what you have to do to convince her to appear.
Okay.
Even if you gotta take her to dinner at her favorite restaurant. Okay, all right, you can zoom out.